That's right. Hello and welcome to this breaking news special on India Today. That's the big story that we are breaking at the moment, because for days it has been speculated as to who were the individuals who supported former IPL Commissioner Lalit Modi's claim for a residency status in Britain and then to get his passport revoked in India. Was Vasundhara Raje the only high-profile individual? Who were the others? Today, the list of support that the former IPL Commissioner got. The Lalit League, as we are calling it, includes 3 former Supreme Court judges who gave their legal opinion, a former Mumbai Police Commissioner who appeared as a witness, a senior editor who appeared as a witness, a business executives and family members of Lalit Modi. Who were they? And how does their support now change the course of this story that has dominated the headlines for almost 2 weeks now? Okay, let's give you the Lalit League, as we are calling it. All those who at various stages in the last 5 years have helped Lalit Modi in some form or the other. Justice Jeevan Reddy is the former Law Commission chairperson. He was asked for his opinion whether Lalit Modi should get back his impounded passport or not, and he said yes, he supports the passport restoration. We have the documents of Justice Jeevan Reddy's opinion in this case. So Justice Jeevan Reddy did play a role in ensuring that Lalit Modi got his passport back. Who's number 2 in the list? The documents with us will show Justice S.B. Sinha, former Supreme Court judge from 2002 to 9. He also supported the restoration of the passport of Lalit Modi. We also have his account here, his documented opinion with us at the moment. The third judge is the late Justice U.C. Banerjee. He had headed the Godhra Train Burning Inquiry Commission. He was the one who gave an opinion that went to the UK courts that ensured Lalit Modi got an extension to his visa when his multiple entry visa was expiring in March 2012. He supported residency status for Lalit Modi. So 3 retired Supreme Court judges, 2 Jeevan Reddy and Justice Sinha, who supported Lalit Modi in the context of the passport revocation, and Justice U.C. Banerjee, who went to the extent of asking the UK authorities to help him. Let's then tell you who else appeared as witnesses. R.D. Tyagi, controversial former Mumbai policeman, was charged in a case allegedly of shooting at a mob during the 92-93 Mumbai riots. He appeared. He is very close to senior Maharashtra politicians. He went and appeared as a witness and was subject to cross-examination in the courts. And Prabhu Chawla, one of the country's most influential editors, now the editor of the New Indian Express, he too appeared as a witness in the case. He is someone who has been seen to be close to Lalit Modi in the past. He appeared as a witness in the case, much like Vasundhara Raje did. So therefore, we will come up with more names, but what is this showing? This dramatic new twist could add to the ongoing Lalit Modi tangle, because these legal documents that I have with me led to Mr. Modi getting a UK leave of stay in 2012 and his passport back in 2014. It shows that not just Vasundhara Raje, but several top Supreme Court judges batted for him. 3 former Supreme Court judges giving legal opinions in his favor, a former Mumbai Police Commissioner and a senior editor appearing in court for him, along with his family members. What it does suggest is that they believe that Lalit Modi was not a fugitive. And if he is not a fugitive according to the Supreme Court judges, then where does the case go from here? And how does this affect Vasundhara Raje, who had signed that affidavit as a witness in the Lalit Modi case? Let's first bring you the details of these documents that we have with us.
The Rajasthan Chief Minister may have battled for Lalit Modi in a British court by signing a witness statement in his support. But Vasundhara Raje was clearly not alone. After going through legal documents, India Today has found that at least 3 former Supreme Court judges, a former Mumbai Police Commissioner, and a prominent editor have all supported the ex-IPL Commissioner at various stages. The support to Lalit Modi can be slotted in 2 clear buckets: legal support for his claim of residentship in UK and the endorsement for his claim in the battle in India to get his revoked passport reinstated. The 3 Supreme Court judges who provided legal opinion in Mr. Modi's favor, both for residentship and for his passport revocation are Justice Jeevan Reddy, former chairperson of the Law Commission, Justice S.B. Sinha, who was a Supreme Court judge between 2002 and 2009, and late Justice U.C. Banerjee, who headed the Godhra train burning inquiry commission. Opinion papers accessed by India Today clearly show that Justice Jeevan Reddy and Justice S.B. Sinha supported Modi's plea to have his passport restored, while a third, Justice U.C. Banerjee, supported stay extension in Britain once his visa expired in March 2012. In his opinion, Sinha, for example, writes, "The Regional Passport Office ought not to have considered allegations of irregularities in IPL when Mr. Modi was chairman while impounding passport, since this is beyond the jurisdiction of the RPO or the Enforcement Directorate." Justice Reddy says in his opinion of October 2013, since Mr. Modi had made himself available for video conferencing, the Enforcement Directorate has no power to insist on the physical presence of Mr. Modi before them. Justice Banerjee was even more explicit when he wrote in February 2012, just ahead of Modi's case being heard in the UK courts. "The fact is, there is no charge against him. The fact is, there is no conviction. Even the allegations against him do not appear to be serious," while adding, "There appears to be a serious and credible threat to his life and security." The judges provided legal opinion. The witness list who actually appeared in court include the former Mumbai Police Commissioner R.D. Tyagi and the editor of the New Indian Express, Prabhu Chawla. Other witnesses in the case include Meenal Modi, wife of Lalit Modi, K.K. Modi, his father, and R.K. Malhotra, chief executive of Modi Group company Indofin.
It is apparent that Lalit Modi had support which went well beyond Vasundhara Raje, and in the absence of any charge sheet, he was able to build a strong case both to stay on in Britain and to have his passport returned. And with the top judges backing his claims, clearly, he didn't just rely on Rajasthan Chief Minister for bailing him out. With camera person Satyendra Bhati, Arthur Khan in Delhi for India Today.
Now, for the last 14 days almost, the cacophony has been that Lalit Modi is a fugitive. The documents that the Supreme Court judges, though, we have now accessed clearly shows they do not believe so. This was their legal opinion that they gave to Team Modi, which is why one of the questions I'm going to ask is Lalit Modi to be seen as a fugitive or not? And if he is not, why is our political class not being explicit about it? And if he is, why was he not deported or extradited to this country, both by the UPA government between 2010 and 14, and then by the NDA government in the last 1 year? Question number 2, did Lalit Modi enjoy the support of several influential people? Clearly from this list, a Mumbai Police Commissioner, a senior editor, 3 judges giving their opinion. In the court, apart from his family members, the heads of his various companies, the CEO of his company, Mr. R.K. Malhotra, all of them appeared in court. Therefore, the question, did Modi enjoy the support of influential people? He probably did. Can Vasundhara shoot off the shoulders of the 3 judges? This is critical. Can Vasundhara Raje claim now that simply because she signed as a witness, the fact is there were 3 Supreme Court judges who gave an opinion, 2 of them in the case of the revocation of passport, 1 in the case of extension of visa, who supported Mr. Modi. Can she really use them to fire off the shoulders and save her chief ministership? This is my 4th question there. Wasn't Vasundhara a public servant unlike the others? And this is critical. She was in 2011 when she signed that statement, the leader of the opposition in Rajasthan. The others can well say they were private individuals. So can Vasundhara really use these 3 judgments or these 3 legal opinions that I have with me to suggest that she too was only supporting Lalit Modi because she believed he had a strong legal case? 5th question. Can supporting Lalit Modi's case be seen as a private act? Remember, a section of the BJP has now begun to use this argument that this was a private act. They used it in the case of Sushma Swaraj. They are saying it in the case of Vasundhara as well. But is there a distinction between these various other individuals who have batted for Lalit Modi and the case of Vasundhara Raje and Sushma Swaraj? That's also a question that will be raised. But clearly, this is throwing an entirely new dimension to this case, given the kind of people who have appeared as witnesses, given the kind of people who've given a legal opinion. This is the Lalit League. The first person, we've been tracking each and every individual. Remember, one of them is no more with us, late Justice U.C. Banerjee. We've attempted to track down R.D. Tyagi in Mumbai, Jeevan Reddy in Hyderabad, Mr. Sinha here in Delhi, and Prabhu Chawla is the first one, senior journalist and editor of the New Indian Express, who's reported. He claims his statement was not in favor of Modi's residency, but over whether Mr. Modi was a victim of political vendetta. Listen in to him.
With each passing day, IPL controversy is getting bigger and murkier, with bigger names featuring in. Joining me is veteran journalist Prabhu Chawla. Sir, your name also features in. It's believed that you signed a statement asking for a residency of Lalit Modi. Is it so? Is it true or it's false?
Yes, I appeared in the court and deposed there because the question was limited to me. His advocates approached me and I went to London on my own expense and gave a statement to the court. That's the fact. And it's not a crime to give a statement because in a criminal justice, there are two sides of the story. So I went there to give my statement. Whatever they asked me, I gave reply.
If you could elaborate what kind of statement it was.
My limited statement as a journalist was, the question was put to me whether Mr. Lalit Modi was a victim of political conspiracy or not. I only told them what media was carrying in India, that there was a BCCI politics going on. A section of BCCI was against him because he was a successful IPL commissioner who created $1 billion industry, as India Today called it on the cover story. And they asked me the question whether there was jealousy against him or not. I said, yes, he is a victim of a political vendetta because whatever action has been taken against him, he has taken those decisions only after the approval of the IPL council members. While he has been served notice, others have not been served notice on FARA violations because he is being charged for an action which was collectively approved by all the IPL members of the BCCI.
Very true.
So that is what my state was confined to, nothing beyond that.
Nothing beyond that means that you didn't give any signed statement asking for residency. You clearly said no to.
No. They never asked me the question. That is the question. The question is, why should I give into question? Because I was asked a particular question whether he was a victim of politics of cricket. I said yes. And there was a section of the UPA, I didn't name any political party. About residence, no question was asked to me. I did not sign any statement.
I think we should correct that breaking news. Mr. Prabhu Chawla is not denying. Prabhu Chawla is making it clear he appeared as a witness in the case and he said that Lalit Modi was a victim of cricket politics. And he claimed that Lalit Modi was also a victim of UPA politics. So we need to, in a sense, correct what we have put out on air. That is what Prabhu Chawla is saying. He's accepting that he appeared in the court, but he said that Lalit Modi was a victim of cricket politics. That is what Prabhu Chawla has told our correspondent there on the thing. So that flash will change in a moment. Let's get in reactions that are coming into this twist that is now added, because with this strong opinion which has been given to Lalit Modi in his support, does that mean that Lalit Modi and possibly even a Vasundhara Raje will believe that they are off the hook? Or is the case really about conflict of interest, which is a critical question that has still not been answered? Joined by R.P. Singh, National Secretary BJP, Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Congress will be joining me, Surjit Bhalla, economist who's come out and batted in favor of Lalit Modi, or at least said he's only a prime-time fugitive, in an article that comes out in the Indian Express tomorrow. Also, Aryama Sundaram, senior lawyer, will tell us why did these judges go out of their way, some would say, to bat for Lalit Modi. Javed Ansari, our National Affairs editor, will also be joining us. But I want to get first reactions that are now going to come in. Aryama Sundaram, I just want to understand, 3 judges, senior, respected, Jeevan Reddy, S.C. Sinha, and U.C. Banerjee, giving opinion in favor of Lalit Modi. 1 in the case of the visa extension to the UK court, 2 in the case of passport revocation to the High Court. Should they be seen purely as providing a professional opinion and little else, and therefore are in a completely different bucket to a Vasundhara Raje, who has a personal relationship with a Lalit Modi, or a Sushma Swaraj, who also says she has a personal relationship and did it as a humanitarian gesture?
Rajiv, let me make one thing very clear to you. Once a judge retires from the Supreme Court or the High Court or any court as the case may be, and gives an opinion and is asked to give an opinion, he acts merely as a professional. There is no difference between his opinion and the opinion of any lawyer who may give the opinion. So while on the one hand we may say 3 views of 3 Supreme Court judges, for one thing they are not Supreme Court judges. They were Supreme Court judges. Second, if they gave their professional view for consideration, they have given it as a professional lawyer, not as a judge. So let's make that very clear. It's their opinion. Now, so far as the Delhi High Court decision was concerned on the passport return issue, on the fact that the passport could not be revoked, I think that decision was correct on the facts of that case. That's my view. Because as far as I'm concerned, deprive a person of a passport and therefore make him stateless, when he is not really, in the real sense of the term, a person who is absconding or a runaway from jail or any such thing and is facing charges. It would be a very serious day if the moment a person is facing charges, you revoke his passport. Having said that, let's understand the other end of the stick. It's all very well to give these views that he is not a fugitive, he is not running from the law, etc. I asked myself, why has he left the country 5 years ago? Why is he not returning to India? Why has he asked for residency in England? Why does he apprehend political vendetta? So what's the consequence? The fact is that maybe there is no arrest warrant for him today, but he is seriously apprehending arrest. And it is his own case that is the reason he has left the country. So it's all very well to go into legal semantics over it, but basically he has gone to England to run away from the arm of Indian law. And let's face that. And once you accept that, I believe any political figure who deals with a person like that does so at their own peril.
So
privacy is a great thing for any individual to claim, but a public citizen but a public person cannot claim it.
But so therefore you're saying there's a distinction between the case of a Vasundhara Raje, who's a public figure, who was holding a public office, with the case of, let's say, R.D. Tyagi, who was a former Mumbai Police Commissioner, Prabhu Chawla, who was a former editor, and you are also making a distinction with the 3 former Supreme Court judges who are giving a professional opinion. So you're saying that Vasundhara Raje still cannot get away from the fact...
Former Supreme Court judges, when they acted purely as lawyers.
Okay. Let me for a though, Surjit Bhalla, since you have Aryama Sundaram saying the very fact that Lalit Modi did not come back to this country for 5 years, in some way, in a literal sense, may not in a legal sense, but in a literal sense, does make him an absconder, a fugitive, is the way Aryama Sundaram seems to be suggesting it. You, on the other hand, seem to be calling him a prime-time fugitive, suggesting that we in the media have made him a prime-time fugitive. You also go on to say, where are the cases against him? The cases against him, there is no conviction against him, there are no charges against him, so how does he become a fugitive? Do you want to explain that? Do you really believe that therefore he should not be seen as an absconder or a fugitive, and therefore the case against him itself is questionable, or those who are raising questions about those who have appeared as witnesses for him, that case falls apart?
Yeah, you know, I'm listening to I'm not a lawyer like Mr. Sundaram, but at least I've tried to do some research as to what are the charges specifically that have been leveled against him. And I'm afraid I haven't been able to find any, and neither the distinguished lawyer Mr. Sundaram was able to provide any case. What he offered was that he's scared he is not coming back to India, and therefore he must be guilty because he'll be arrested. Now, there are several reasons why he's not coming back to India. One, that he fears for his life. And I think there are adequate grounds to believe that he genuinely fears for his life. We know, and Rajdeep, you have been following cricket a lot, it's a very, very murky world. And there have been several instances of where people have died without any particular explanation. So I think, and prior to him going to England, he had, if you will, top-level security because of the fear of his life. Now, he is also offered, contrary to what Mr. Sundaram is implying, that he is very willing to be interviewed, to be, if you will, assessed, etc., in England. And this is something that, as Mr. Sundaram certainly knows, that there's precedent for the Enforcement Directorate to go to London and meet an individual. So this is what I think one of the justices had said, that listen, there is no basis. Last point I want to make, the revocation of passport. What was the basis for it? And remember, the UPA said that to the British government, we don't want you to let Mr. Modi travel, because if he travels, this will affect relationship between our two countries. Have they ever, is there any documentation of why the relationship will be affected? Why he has full rights as a citizen, just like as you have, as I have, of travel, unless my passport is impounded. If my passport is not impounded, then I should be allowed to travel, not because it pleases. Last point I want to make, that somewhere in the early on you had said about political vendetta, and I think we should mention that, if you will, in the 2009 election, when Mr. Modi, Lalit Modi, moved the IPL program to South Africa, I think it's worth a story to look into as to whether the political vendetta from the UPA side is because of that movement. They said, we will not allow you to have the IPL here. He said, fine, I'll move it to South Africa. Maybe hurt a few egos.
I'm going to come to the specific cases and their status and what exactly the judges have said when they were giving their legal opinion. But Priyanka Chaturvedi, do you believe that Vasundhara Raje or even a Sushma Swaraj can shoot off the shoulders of these three judges? As Aryama Sundaram says, these were three professional opinions which questioned the revocation of passport, which believed that Lalit Modi could do a video conference from abroad and therefore could continue to stay if he wanted in England, need not come back to India, that he could extend his visa. Do you believe that Vasundhara Raje can use that to say, look, I also as a friend of the family signed on? Or do you believe her case is very different, and to that extent the Congress still believes that she as a public servant is guilty under the Prevention of Corruption Act, Section 13(3)(d)?
No, absolutely, and it's not just about she's standing as a witness to his immigration request. There's also charges against her son, and it is being probed by the Delhi High Court. And we also need to keep in mind that when she signed on these particular documents, she was leader of opposition. She held a public post. So when you compare to three Supreme Court judges who have retired and who are practicing, so they must have, consulted in a professional capacity. What she has done is she's gone against the state.
But those three Supreme Court judges are all saying they don't see Lalit Modi as a fugitive. All those three Supreme Court judges seem to be indicating that in their view, Lalit Modi's case should not be seen as that of a fugitive. To that extent, do you believe that Vasundhara could turn around and say, look, I was supporting someone who was being hounded, which is what she has said when she has given her opinion? Or do you believe what is more important is the fact that she didn't even want this opinion to be revealed?
Absolutely. Her intent is very clear when she says Indian authorities should not know that she has signed a document like this in support of Mr. Lalit Modi. Having said that, and in 2011, she reiterates her stand saying that she supports, 2013 if I'm not mistaken. She goes and reiterates her stand in support of Mr. Lalit Modi. So very clearly, she has tried to hide facts from the Indian authorities. She's not wanting to keep them in the loop, or not even wanting them to know that she's gone and signed documents like this. She has been a public figure. So she wasn't doing this, even if she knew him personally, she should have realized the repercussions of standing by a person who Indian authorities are looking for, and they want him back in India to face the various charges that he is booked under. I'm surprised that Mr. Bhalla says that there are no charges. There are charges, FEMA charges against the person. There is an ED investigation going on against him. And ED, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Jaitley had said there's some 1750 crore ED investigation that they're planning to slap notices on him.
These were, let's be clear, these were investigations. These were investigations. 15 show cause notices were put under the Foreign Exchange Management Act, but there was no judicial decision in any of those cases. I think we need to get clarity. I'm trying to bring clarity so that over the last 14 days, some of the noise dissipates and we focus on clarity. Mr. R.P. Singh, the BJP today could well use again, shoot off the back of these three ex-judges, of the back of a former Mumbai police commissioner and of a senior editor who have given in a sense a character certificate to Mr. Modi and said that he was a victim either of political vendetta or cricket vendetta. But the serious question which the BJP still cannot get away from is that Vasundhara Raje was a public figure when she was signing this statement. She was signing this statement of an individual whom the Indian government believed was someone who needed to be investigated, who was not joining the investigation. To that extent, would you concede that Vasundhara Raje mixed her private relationship with the Modi family with her public role as leader of the opposition? Sushma Swaraj also did the same. That's the question which will still haunt the BJP.
Not today, even yesterday I said the same, that whatever she did in a personal capacity. I mean, if you can please go through the letter which you have with you, which I don't have previously till now. She has not mentioned that she is writing as a leader of opposition. She has written in his individual capacity. Let's be clear on this. And secondly, is there a single FIR? I'm not playing Mr. Modi's advocate, but is there any single FIR against him? And for all those 4 years, why didn't Congress? If
there isn't a single FIR against him, why is your finance minister suddenly suggesting that the government intends to slap cases against him? Why is there this leaks that there will be a red corner notice? So I want clarity from the BJP. If today you are saying, why don't you have the same honesty that the judges have had? All the 3 judges in these judgments have said that they don't see Lalit Modi's case to be that of a fugitive or an absconder, that he is not Dawood Ibrahim. But the BJP, on the other hand, very few of your BJP leaders have the courage to say that openly, say it, that Lalit Modi is not a fugitive, he is not an absconder, and therefore Vasundhara Raje was supporting him as in a private capacity. Say that.
In the complete 4-year regime of the UPA, they never let me complete again. They never lodged a single FIR against Mr. Lalit Modi. They never pursued the case of getting him back to a country.
They sent 15 show-cause notices, and Mr. Chidambaram, as finance minister in 2013, sent 2 letters to the Chancellor of the Exchequer saying Lalit Modi should not be given his travel documents.
Perfect. But did they ask him to be brought back? Did they follow up for Mr. Modi to be brought back to the country? No. Saying is that even after our government coming in, we are legally following the complete case, and whatever law says, we will follow as per the law. They were doing it for the personal issues, for their personal reasons.
You know that really now becomes the critical question here. Javed Ansari, who's joining us from the newsroom. I'll get you back, Priyanka Chaudhary. Just let me get in a word from Javed Ansari, who's joining us. Javed, how is this now going to be used? Because as we are seeing at the moment, the BJP is desperately trying in a way to ensure that Vasundhara Raje survives. Now, will they use this information that these documents provide to suggest that, look, Lalit Modi is not a fugitive, not an absconder. So far, they have not been willing to say that at any stage. Does the BJP have the moral courage, the political courage to say that in the face of public opinion, or will they also stick to the prime time fugitive narrative?
Look, Rajdeep, they'd be tempted to take this route, use whatever the former judges have said in their capacity as lawyers to defend the fact. Initially, when this news first broke out, they did use this argument, but then decided to do away with it in the face of mounting evidence. But this is not an issue, this is not a technical issue. Why is it then that Ms. Vasundhara Raje, when she signed that document, mentioned that line that this should not be revealed to the Indian authorities? The manner in which she went about it, why was she so secretive? This lends to the perception that there was perhaps more than what meets the eye, and this appears to be a specious argument that it was done in a personal capacity and not in that of a leader of the opposition. When you are the leader of the opposition, when you hold a constitutional position, there is very little that divides the personal from the professional.
Okay, let me take a break at this point. As we are taking, Jeevan Reddy has just seen, Justice Jeevan Reddy, former chairperson of the Law Commission, has finally reacted. He says legal opinion was sought by the Lalit Modi team. It was given. That's the end of the matter and nothing further. I will not respond on camera. That's what has been said by Jeevan Reddy. R.D. Tyagi, we've gone to him too. R.D. Tyagi has said no comments. Remember, R.D. Tyagi is known to have been very close to a section of the Maharashtra political establishment. He is saying today on the program, no comments. We're going to take a break at this point, come back with plenty more. How is this going to now change the narrative, if at all, in the Lalit Modi tangle that has already brought 2 BJP leaders to the brink of resignations? Much more on these documents. Finally, this is not about anything else but hard documents that have been provided to courts, both in the High Court and in the UK court. This is coming to you with all the names of all those who appeared in court on behalf of Lalit Modi. Welcome back. The completely new twist to the Lalit Gate controversy. For days it has been speculated as to who were the individuals who supported the former IPL commissioner's claim, first for residency status in Britain, then to get his passport revoked in India. Was Vasundhara Raje the only high-profile individual who stood as a witness? Who were the others? Today the list of support is with us. The former IPL commissioner got the support through legal opinion of 3 former Supreme Court judges, a former Mumbai police commissioner, a senior editor, business executives, and of course family members. Just who were they and how does their support now change the course of the story? Let's tell you who those individuals were. Justice Jeevan Reddy. He is former Law Commission chairman. He was the person who gave a legal opinion in his favor. Number 2 was Justice S.C. Sinha, Supreme Court judge between 2002 and 9, again gave an opinion in Lalit Modi's favor. Number 3 was Justice U.C. Banerjee, whose opinion was used in the United Kingdom court to suggest that Lalit Modi should get an extension to his stay in 2012. Also appearing in court as witnesses was R.D. Tyagi. The picture is wrong. Former Mumbai Police Commissioner R.D. Tyagi and Prabhu Chawla, editor of the New Indian Express. Also those who appeared in court included the family of Lalit Modi, Minal Modi, K.K. Modi and R.K. Malhotra, who was a chief executive in his company. So clearly businessmen, family friends, journalist, police officer, as well as lawyers had all supported Lalit Modi's claim, and of course Vasundhara Raje, that he should be allowed to stay on there at the time. Aryama Sundaram, I just want to understand, I just want to understand from you, Priyanka Chaturvedi, for the Congress party now, how you have made this case one of manifest corruption. Questions will be raised that if these 3 Supreme Court judges, former Supreme Court judges, all distinguished, are saying in their opinion that they found the manner in which the Regional Passport Office, along with the Enforcement Directorate, impounded Lalit Modi's passport in 2010 to be arbitrary and ultra vires the law. How are you going to argue that? That the original act of impounding the passport itself has been questioned by 3 former Supreme Court judges. Does that weaken the Congress case in any way against Lalit Modi and against the likes of Vasundhara Raje, you believe?
No, it doesn't weaken our case, or it shouldn't have weakened the government of India's case, simply because he was on the run, he was not cooperating with ED investigation, and he chose to stay in the UK, and he had tremendous support from influential people, including those who were leaders in Rajasthan, like Ms. Vasundhara Raje.
I take your point, but all the legal opinion before me suggests that in a FEMA case, if the person is ready to appear through video conferencing, then that is acceptable. That's exactly what S.C. Sinha is saying. That is exactly what Jeevan Reddy seems to suggest, that video conferencing was acceptable in a case like this.
No, this is an opinion where, a client has sought an opinion and an opinion has been given. I wouldn't know that if the judges, the High Court judges, would accept an opinion like this or an argument like this. It could have been taken to the Supreme Court.
Ma'am, the High Court judges in August said the revocation of the appellant's passport for that so-called default, which is yet to be adjudicated upon on the ground that it was in the interest of the general public, is not lawful. And they said that his passport must be restored forthwith. This is what the High Court said.
No, I have just another argument to give on this.
Yes.
Even if the passport was handed back to him, shouldn't the government of India have put pressure on him to get him back to India rather than facilitate his travel documents by, with the UK authorities, by surpassing all norms, all rules and regulations that should be coming in place by Ms. Sushma Swaraj, to ensure that till the time his passport is not handed back to him, he gets all the travel facilities possible so that it doesn't hinder or hamper his travel in any way. It should have been the government of India's responsibility to ensure that when his travel documents are given given to him by the UK government. It should have also ensured that he comes back to India to face all the charges that have been levelled against him, and they are serious charges. These are FEMA violations, these are money laundering violations.
That's a strong point, Mr. R.P. Singh, that A, your government chose not to challenge what happened in the High Court. B, there are still questions over conflict of interest, given that the Foreign Affairs Minister's daughter was part of the legal team. C, the fact that she chose to bypass protocol and speak directly to British lawmakers. Now, all these questions in Sushma Swaraj's case will still exist, irrespective of this legal opinion, irrespective of the kind of people who have appeared, as we have been showing, as witnesses for Lalit Modi. They are private individuals who've given him a character certificate. Sushma Swaraj was the Minister for External Affairs. Vasundhara Raje was a senior BJP leader of Rajasthan.
I'll start with the conflict of interest issue, because that's more serious. As per your premise, tomorrow my children should not work for anyone, because if they're part of any legal team, my daughter is a lawyer, if she's part of any legal team, she can represent anyone.
No, you have every right to, but then as the minister, you should be careful before you bypass protocol in a case that involves someone connected to you. Your daughter is free to appear for anyone else. The minister should have been conscious of it. So that story still remains, irrespective of the fact that very senior individuals, respected individuals have appeared as witnesses for him.
Rajdeep, please, I am again saying conflict of interest is a wrong premise, because she was part of a team. She was not heading the team. She was part of, had she been heading the team, yeah, conflict of interest comes. But she was part of a team with 10 other lawyers. She was junior with 10 other lawyers. So that conflict of interest doesn't happen, doesn't work there.
You know.
Second, when you say, please.
Go ahead.
You were saying.
Go ahead.
Second, Mrs. Sushma Swaraj never gave any permission. She was just asked whether this will spoil relationship between the two countries. She said nothing. No, this won't spoil relationship between the two countries, and that too because for a woman to be treated, not for any other reason, not for not giving an escape route. Only for his wife's treatment.
You know, the fact is, these questions of conflict of interest will continue to arise. I just want to get you in, Surjit Bhalla, before I take another break. Do you concede that those questions will still be asked, irrespective of who has appeared as witnesses, the credibility of the witnesses who've appeared in the courts in London, the legal opinion which has been given by 3 former Supreme Court judges, questions over conflict of interest, questions over whether the public and the private were confused by individuals, those questions are not going to go away entirely.
No, Rajdeep, look, conflict of interest arises if there is a crime, if he has committed a crime, if he's an ordinary citizen who's asking for this because the previous government is having a political vendetta or whatever, where is the conflict of interest? I don't understand. He hasn't been charged, he's not a fugitive, so therefore where is the conflict of interest?
He may not be legally a fugitive, but there are cases, there are serious cases, serious enough for the then UPA government. We can argue whether their intentions were right or wrong, serious enough for them to say he should be denied his travel documents.
No. Rajiv, I am contesting that. What are these serious cases? We keep repeating it, that there were serious cases against him. What were they? Do we know a single serious case against him, other than the fact that the Enforcement Directorate has put notices on him, and that is quite, lots of people have, if you will, notices given by the Enforcement Directorate. Are we going to say that anybody who's served a notice by the Enforcement Directorate cannot travel?
You know, that's the point, Arima Sundaram, that Surjit Bhalla is making. The 3 crimes, let's look at the 3 crimes. Just a minute, there's 3 specific crimes, 15 show-cause notices under the Foreign Exchange Management Act for allegedly receiving illegal money. Mr. Modi claims he's replied to all of them. Number 2, one of Mr. Modi's companies involved in the investment, loans and overvaluation of shares in a hotel company owned by Vasundhara Raje's son. And number 3, a cheating case filed against him in Chennai by former BCCI president. It was filed in 2010 and for now little progress has been made. Is that enough? Were these 3 cases enough for Mr. Lalit Modi to be declared a fugitive and an absconder, and therefore anyone who was connected with him would therefore suffer a taint?
Rajdeep,
yes.
Can we just cut the hyperbole completely from what I have been hearing till now?
Yes.
Come down to a very, very simple point.
Yes.
Here is a man who has been charged with serious economic offences. Whether those offences will result in imprisonment, punishment through penalties, whatever, I'm not on that. He has been charged with serious offences involving foreign exchange, which is a very serious issue in the country. Don't also forget that under FEMA, a notice can also demand personal appearance. It can. So it is not that simple that it's something which can just be done for the asking over the video conferencing. So let's not go into that. The fact is, here is a man who has been charged with certain offences, who for whatever reasons, on whatever advice he got, felt that it was expedient and best for him to run away from India 5 years ago, not set foot in India again, stay away. Why? Unless he was afraid that there were going to be certain consequences. Now look at this. In this backdrop, you have two leaders of political parties who are public figures, who are holding offices of profit under the government, and who decide to have an interaction with him in one way or the other, including supporting him in any manner they can. Now please leave all the legalities, hyperbole out of it. What does it look like? On the one hand, you have a government of India saying, look here, we think this man has committed very serious offences. We need to investigate, we need to inquire, we need to speak to him, we have issued him notices. On the other side, you have ministers of the same government who are saying, look here, this poor chap, there is political vendetta against him, he's a good man. How can the same government speak in two voices?
So you're saying, the government needs to give us clarity.
Just one more important thing, Rajdeep.
Yes, go ahead.
Rajdeep, just one more thing. Please look at the irony of it. To defend itself today, the BJP is defending Lalit Modi. To defend their own ministers, what is the defense of the BJP? Lalit Modi is innocent. Are they willing to come out and say that? Are they willing to, is the BJP willing to come out and say, look here, Modi has only been persecuted, political persecution, he's done nothing wrong.
Right.
They're really going to be in the position of having to say that, and they're painting themselves into a corner that to protect their ministers, they have to protect Lalit Modi. And that is the greatest irony, when on the one hand you have the government of India which has issued notices, and on the one hand is the finance minister saying these are serious offences. On the other hand, to protect ministers, you are ending up protecting Lalit Modi. It's an ironical situation.
You're absolutely right. To protect the ministers, you say you have to protect Lalit Modi. The question is he a fugitive or an absconder or not? As I said, 3 former Supreme Court judges seem to believe he was not on the evidence that was provided to them and the legal opinion which they gave, which was then used in courts. But is that enough for the BJP leaders themselves to claim they are off the hook? That's the question that will continue to be asked. Just a little bit more as we summarize this big news break on Friday evening that's giving a completely different dimension to the Lalit Modi story.